Hey everybody, Adam the Movie Guy here, back for Werewolf Wednesday and continuing the Howling series with the sequel to the 1981 classic releasing in 1985, The Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf, aka Sturba Werewolf Bitch. I swear I'm not making this up. Those are the actual two titles to this fucking movie. Look it up. Let me start off by saying how The Howling as a series is one of the most fucking out there ones in the horror genre in terms of going from one end of the spectrum with that first film, which is a highly respected, loved, and held up as being one of the greatest werewolf films ever made. It's one of the big dogs alongside the OG Wolfman, Ginger Snaps, and unfortunately overshadowed by American Werewolf in London, but it's one of the greats nonetheless. To go from that to the fucking levels of so bad it's good, to me at least, is something that needs to be studied, because holy shit, this movie is fucking something. This movie got Sir Christopher Lee, one of the greatest actors to ever live. Saruman from Lord of the Rings, Count Dooku, Scaramanga, the man with the golden gun from James Bond, the most famous vampire in all of fiction. I'm talking Big Daddy Dracula in this bitch, and my personal favorite version of the character. Point being, this guy is a fucking legend. And the fact that he's in this film is staggering. So apparently his motive for doing so was because after being in so many vampire films, he wanted to do a werewolf one for a change, and since this was to be a sequel to the highly successful and well-received OG film, I really don't blame him for agreeing to do so, and while never substantiated, I think it's kinda safe to say either he never read the script before signing on to star in it, or it went through multiple revisions to the point where it barely resembled what was originally envisioned. But fuck me, you could see his embarrassment on his face in a few scenes, and it's fucking hysterical. It got to the point where when he met Joe Dante, the director of the OG Howling movie, on the set of Gremlins 2, he personally apologized to him for starring in The Howling 2. What a fucking statement. Now, unlike the previous episode, I'm not going to dive nearly as deep into the film because explaining every dumbass thing in it will cause me to lose what few brain cells I still possess, and I'm definitely not making this episode as long as the first movie. That film earned its long talk time since it's a genuine classic, and I also had the source material of the novel, which I'm also a big fan of. Yes, there's sequel novels, but this movie took jack shit from them, so there's no point in comparing the two unless I wanted to stretch the runtime here. This one is a so bad it's good film to me, so I'm gonna just get to the point and cut out all the fat and bullshit. I'm just gonna tell you the overall plot, my thoughts on some things, what I wish they would have done, and a final ranking for it. There will be spoilers, so here's your warning, but first, here's the preview for the 1985 film, The Howling 2, Your Sister's a Werewolf, aka Sturba Werewolf Bitch.
Party time! Ow! It's the rocking, shocking, new wave of horror. Howling 2.
Your dreams again, howling.
Howling 2. It's not over yet.
So the plot of the film is it's kind of a sequel to the events of the first film. It follows the apparent death of Karen White during the shocking broadcast, where she transforms live on air while she's anchoring to prove to the world the existence of werewolves, and she's put down by her friend Chris. This is all redone fucking terribly with none of the same actors from the OG movie.
It's a fake. That's not my sister.
Ben, it isn't a fake.
Why they didn't just show the footage from the first one is beyond me. The film kicks off with her funeral, and the main character is her brother named Ben White, played by B-movie star Reb Brown, best known for the cult classic film Your Hunter from the Future. He, along with a journalist named Annie, who was a colleague of Karen, meet Stefan, played by the man himself, Christopher Lee. Stefan is an occult specialist and monster hunter who just shows up to Karen's funeral and casually tells Ben his sister was a werewolf. I shit you not, that's exactly how it goes down.
What do you know about the death of Karen White?
I know that she is a werewolf.
Jenny, what did he say?
He said your sister is a werewolf.
Oh, bullshit.
He also says Karen isn't going to stay dead or isn't really dead or some bullshit like that and needs to be put to rest properly. And he's right, because we are shown Karen waking up in the coffin and screaming her head off. We then learn about the main villain of the film named Sturba, Queen of the Werewolves, played by the Queen of B-movies, Sybil Danning. Sturba has these mystic powers who ends up sucking the life force out of Karen, permanently killing her and restoring Sturba's youth. So Sturba, along with her merry band of asshole werewolves, head back to the castle in Transylvania to plan world domination or some bullshit like that. The plot never really seems clear on what her ultimate goal beyond that is. But anyway, it's up to Ben, Stefan, and Annie to put a stop to Sturba and her clan. This all culminates in a raid on Sturba's castle, with some of the villagers joining in with the main trio, and they go in guns blazing. Sturba's main inner circle gets taken out, and Stefan personally takes out Sturba, sacrificing himself in the process, and Ben and Annie return home to LA, now a couple, as the film comes to an end. I mean, that's the basic story of the film. Now, I got some thoughts. First thing, how the fuck isn't Karen dead? Didn't Chris shoot her with the silver bullets at the end of the original film? Unless he didn't, and this was supposed to be a callback to Eddie Quist's fake out death in the original, but I don't buy that, since the film fully led you to believe he killed her. They played it for the maximum tragedy that it was. And she's ultimately wasted and thrown in the fucking trash once she gets her life force sucked out by Sturba, which blows the opportunity of her having one emotional scene with her brother Ben. We have no idea what their relationship is like, and the film doesn't really care after that point. And touching on the werewolves and weaknesses to the silver, the film tries to change things up by saying Sturba and her inner circle are supposed to be these fucking super werewolves that evolve beyond being vulnerable to silver. Essentially, they need another metal, and I shit you not, it's titanium.
Silver bullets are useless against such creatures. Quite useless. Only titanium will kill them.
Which, while I like the idea of needing another metal, because on paper that does sound interesting, I would have preferred they did something like gold. That may sound stupid, but I mean, it's a stupid fucking movie, and at least it would be a fun choice.
Tell me how I'd kill him. I mean it.
A bullet.
A bullet?
A bullet?
Oh! What kind of bullet?
A bullet of pure gold.
Gold.
24 carat.
Oh, get out of my way.
Titanium is just a boring choice for the weakness change. Second, the werewolf designs themselves don't really look like werewolves, which puzzled the hell out of me until I looked into it and found out that during the production of the film, when the crew ordered the costumes and masks, they were given Planet of the Apes costumes and told to make it work.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
The studio didn't give a single fuck about the final outcome, so Christopher Lee came up with the idea to say some bullshit line in the film that says werewolves devolved from apes to hand-wave their ape-like appearance in the movie, which, kudos to Christopher Lee for going out of his way to make this shit work, but honestly, it's fucking ridiculous, and the studio really fucked them over on that one, which I can't really blame the filmmakers for it. Some more weird shit I want to bring up is both the ritual where Sturba drains Karen's life force, which kills Karen and restores Sturba's youth, and what follows for her and her two main werewolf henchmen. First off, the ritual being done in a Transylvania castle is pretty damn cool, but some aspects about that whole thing puzzle me again. Why did it have to be specifically Karen? Why the fuck couldn't it have been any other Joe Blow werewolf that would have been easier to grab instead of traveling all the way from Transylvania to LA to snag her? There's like at least a few thousand werewolves in the universe of the Howling films, from what was implied in the first film, with them living in pockets around the world. In this movie implying there's even more than previously thought. Why Karen? Why is she so special? Another thing is, how long was Sturba planning this? Because she starts off old as fuck before sucking Karen dry to restore her youth, and apparently the rest of her sorceress powers. There's no talk of a prophecy saying she has to wait X amount of years before the chosen one, blah blah blah, in this case Karen, comes along to do this ritual or some stupid bullshit like that. We get nothing. And what's with all the topless leather panty wearing women in BDSM like gear? Actually, you know what? I take that back. I don't need an explanation for that since it's a positive. After the ritual, Sturba, along with her boy toy werewolf second in command named Vlad, properly induct the newest member to their wolf pack, Mariana, the sexy one we've been following throughout the film. So, for her final part of her initiation into the fucking wolf pack, they get to fucking.
Does she please you?
Very much.
Take her.
Kind of strange final step, but I'm definitely not complaining. And I love how Sturba gets so into watching Vlad and Mariana go at it so much, she starts ripping her clothes off.
Just put it in my mouth. Oh.
This moment comes back in a ridiculous way, and I'll get to that later. Now, after some time with our heroes, we cut back to Sturba, Vlad, and Mariana, who are still somehow fucking. It has been a whole day. It's kind of hard to tell how much time has passed, but it's been a hot fucking minute. Now, all three of them are partially transformed while they're going at it. I don't know why, but they are. This sex scene is one of the most bizarre, non-sequitur moments I have ever seen in the horror genre, because nothing comes of this, and while sex scenes, for the sake of sex scenes, don't bother me, quite the opposite in fact, this one had me saying out loud, okay, so that fucking happened. And this had nothing on the werewolf sex scene from the OG film, which, to be fair, it's kind of hard to beat that one since they had Marsha. This film for years has long been thought to have been intended as a completely original vampire film with no connection to The Howling whatsoever, and while that hasn't been proven as far as I know, it honestly wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, since this comes across as being much more like a vampire movie than a werewolf one, with Sturba being a werewolf barely touched upon with the exception of that one weird sex scene and her partial transformation. Otherwise, she's much more like an evil vampiric sorceress, so I don't know what the fuck the thought process was behind certain decisions of the film, if there was one. Christopher Lee, the poor bastard, is doing his absolute best with a fucking joke of a script, barely there story, and actors that he can outperform even after downing several beers, snorting a line of blow-off an actress's tits, and while on horse tranquilizers before the director can even yell action. I mean, he was fucking Dracula. Go figure. Red Brown is Red Browning his way through the movie, and if you've seen Yor, then you know I mean this as a compliment since he's always entertaining. The only other actor of note is Sybil Danning herself. She does a great job for what very little she was given. She looks absolutely stunning as Sturba, and the biggest thing everyone brings up when discussing this movie was the infamous ending credits scene that's essentially a music video in which the scene where Sturba rips her top off, aka Sybil Danning's only topless scene in the movie, is replayed, I shit you not, 17 times. The trivia to that is Sybil Danning was getting tired of repeated nude scenes in her movies, and she compromised for playing Sturba in Howling 2 by agreeing to only doing one topless scene, which the filmmakers agreed, and they technically kept their word. It was her only topless scene in the movie. However, when it came time to edit the movie and ending scene, the editors asked the director if they can replay that scene in the ending credits, to which the director said Sybil Danning probably wouldn't mind, and to be fair to the director, he genuinely had no fucking idea that scene would get replayed that many times, and Danning wasn't exactly pleased with that, which is kind of a bummer and shitty thing that the editor did that without being completely forthcoming on the details, but it does make a very memorable end credit sequence, I'll say that much. Overall, this movie is a train wreck, but after bashing it and saying all these negatives, I'm going to get to the point and rank it. I award The Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf, aka Sturba Werewolf Bitch, 4 silver bullets out of 10. This is a bad movie, but I will give it some praise by saying it's one of those so bad it's good movies, and I do get entertainment out of watching how much of a shit show this movie is every time I get to it. It's a film you got to see at least once to get a good laugh, and Christopher Lee's god-tier acting along with Sybil Danning looking like a blonde goddess really carry this film. God knows it wasn't everyone else's acting, the writing, the production value, the special effects, or werewolf designs or transformations. How the first Howling film is one of the most respected and loved werewolf movies in the genre, to the sequels being some of the most dogshit ones in horror history, with the exception of Part 3, which I can't wait to get to since I actually consider it good, and that's going to be a real fun one to talk about. It's honestly fucking staggering. There's a reason why many people don't know The Howling is a whole film series and know just the OG, or at best, the first 3 films. Well, guys, this is the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed listening to me. This has been Adam the Movie Guy, wishing you all another wonderful Werewolf Wednesday, and I'll see you next episode.
I see the bad moon rising. I see trouble.